You left jurisdiction in the state of Louisiana without obtaining a travel permit. As evidence, you was arrested in Texas on December the 19th, 2019. Guilty or not guilty?
I'm guilty with a statement. Do you have my letters?
Well, I'm going to ask you these questions here. You can,
Okay.
You failed to report monthly office visits during the months of June and December. Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
You failed to provide employment information and proof of valid employment during the months of June and December of 2019.
Guilty.
Rule 8, you have violated the conditions in that the subject was arrest warrant was issued from East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office signed of the 19th JDC on August the 2nd, 2019 for offense of restoration by offenders. Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Rule 9, you changed your residence without permission and failed to provide your new address, making your home visits impossible.
Guilty.
Rule 14, you violated the condition in that on June 14, 2019, you changed the address from 7241 Tracy Lee, Baton Rouge, without getting permission from your parole officer. Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Okay. At this time, there's one more rule number 15. You failed to pay supervision fees since April 16, 2016, and currently have an arrearage of $5,071. Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
At this time, on the panel today is Mr. Victor Jones, myself, Jim Wise, and Ms. Pearl Wise. At this time, Ms. Pearl Wise will be asking some questions.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You can set up, sir. The microphone will pick it up. You can just set up. You don't have to worry about leaning in every time you speak. The microphone will pick it up. You are indicating to Mr. Wise that you were guilty with the statement for the first allegation. So make your statement at this time.
All the allegations stem from one situation. I had wrote y'all letters, and then it's documented in the federal government. My life was in danger. My life was threatened more than one time. And the U.S. Marshals came to see me January the 7th in this prison to try to find out who was trying to kill me and my mama about lawsuits presently that was activated in court. And this is documented. And they got it on camera. They got it on mic. They recorded everything because they came to indict me on federal charges for leaving the state. But they didn't indict me because of that reason, because my life was in danger and they could prove it. And they offered to put protection on my mother. And that's why the courts got rid of the charge, because they've been trying to release me since March the 20, when I signed my paperwork by the sheriff office to go home. Well, I got held on a parole hold, and I had wrote y'all about it and everything, but everybody knew about it. It's documented on federal government history. I mean, that my life was in danger, and that's why they didn't indict me, and that's why the court let me go too.
Okay.
I explained that to my parole officer. They're the only one that didn't believe me. Everybody else believed me. I mean, it's documented. The federal government got a document. Why would y'all believe me? Something like that. And the lawsuit is documented in court.
Okay. I get that. I get what you're saying. But you pled guilty to all the violations today, and those violations impact your parole supervision. And I'm based on what you were saying, I don't understand why the federal authorities didn't contact your state probation officer to let them know.
They did.
Oh no.
She did. He told me when he left, because he told me personally. I don't know. When they came to see me, the federal agents told me that they know Janice Martin, and she sent them. And when we finished the interview, like 40 minutes, he told me that he gonna contact her to tell her that they're not gonna pursue charges against me. He told me that. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know the guy.
Okay, we're good.
All I'm just saying, ma'am, is I say I'm guilty because I did it, but it happened because my life was threatened. I had to do something. I was gonna die, and it constantly came with pictures of my mama and my ex girl. They constantly came. They came more than one
Okay.
time. And the first-
Okay, all right, I got it. I read your letter that you submitted and you
That's-
explained it quite well. But I need you to understand, you pled guilty to the parole violations. So you violated your parole. You need to understand that. That's all I had, Chairman. If you ready for me to vote, I can go ahead and vote
No,
at this time.
What I'm saying is, it happened. I can't say it did happen, but it happened because of that. I can't say it did happen. I'm not plead guilty to it, saying that I actually want to intentionally do it because it's not even mine. I was running for my life, and it's documented.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, I ain't want to plead
We
guilty
got
to it,
that. I heard you. We got that. We got that.
but I'm not pleading guilty to
All
that.
right.
Like saying that, like I'm just saying.
Hey,
Yes.
let her ask you the question. We're gonna give you a chance to speak.
Okay.
Madam Chairman, Mr. Chairman, I have no more questions. He's already answered my questions, and he also put what he's saying in a letter to us that we've already read. So we got the information. You have told us what you wanted us to know. You're repeating yourself now, but well, we got it. That's all I had, Chairman.
At this time, Mr. Victor Jones, do you have anything you'd like to say? Unmute your mic.
I don't have any questions for him at this time. Let him give his statement.
Okay, I don't have any questions at this time. I read over your files here. At this time, anything you'd like to say to the board before we vote?
Yes. I would like to say that I plead not guilty with the statement that I had made because I understand what was going on just now. But consider the situations that was happening, my life was in danger. I mean, and I reached out to Miss Janice 3 times. She didn't answer the phone. She didn't answer me. She didn't answer me. I was trying to get help. She never answered me. She never answered my phone call. And that's not normal for a parole officer to do when somebody call you like that.
Well, let me ask you something. If you had enough transportation to go to Texas, you already had enough transportation to drive down to the parole office and talk to him. You knew this was your freedom, but you took it up on yourself to leave and go out of state. You took it up on yourself to not pay fees. You're $5,000 some behind on your fees. You took it up on yourself to move from that restaurant without getting a hold of somebody with probation and parole. Okay. Anything else you got?
I didn't just drive to Texas. I ended up just running. And I didn't know who to trust. If she answered the phone, it never happened to me. I've been on parole 10 years, and it never happened to me. If parole and not answer the phone call, I didn't know who to trust.
Mr. Damon. Mr. Damon?
Yes.
Where were you living at the time?
Talk about where I living like.
Where were you living? Where were you living when you got placed on purge?
Yes.
Okay. When these threats started happening, who was threatening you and your mother?
The first time it happened, I had parole officer Pete Swallow, and I contacted them. The police came on my door for no reason. 3 police with guns pulled out, and I contacted Mr. Anderson and Mr. Pete Swallow, and they confirmed that no police supposed to be at my address because I had no warrant for my arrest. That's the first time it happened. When I moved, they came.
Let me ask you this: when these threats started coming to you and your mother, do you have a police report? Did you go report that to the local police?
No, I couldn't report to the police.
Okay,
I reported to my parole officer. My parole officer.
No question. No other question.
It's the police. I called the police. The police is the one that came to my house. And when I called all the police in Baton Rouge, they said they had no warrant for my arrest and no reason nobody should have came to my house. I called all the police officers. I got a friend who have a brother of the police, and I called her. She called her brother, and they said they had no warrant nowhere for your arrest. I don't know why the police came by your house. And I called Mr. He Swallow and Mr. Anderson was the supervisor, and he said, ain't no what they come by your house for? Ain't no warrant for your arrest. So I'm like, they was trying to kill me. They was trying to kill me. They were trying to kill me then. If they come from New Orleans to Baton Rouge to arrest me for what? For nothing.
So did the police take your report about the threats?
They over the phone. They talked to me over the phone. They said they didn't send nobody to my house. That's what they told me. All the police, the sheriff office, they sent nobody to my house. I had no warrant for my arrest. And Mr. Anderson can verify that, and Mr. Heath Follow can verify that because I contacted them.
So there should be a report on the police file somewhere that you reported these threats.
I reported them to them. I don't know if they recorded it. It's on the phone call recorded. Like I said, Mr. Parole, the Paroles, both of them got it. Mr. Anderson and Mr. Heath Follow they got it. I talked to them too.
Okay.
I called the parole people. I called the police department show always first about them. And they said, ain't no reason the police should be showing up at your house. I said, well, 3 showed up at my house. We have one for my arrest. And they say, no, we have nothing for your arrest.
Well, I don't think that's what we're here for today. We just here to talk about your violations of your parole that you understood and signed at the time you were placed on parole.
My life.
At this time, Ms. Pearl Wise, anything you have to say, or are you ready to vote?
I'm ready to vote, sir. Mrs.
Okay.
Mr. Glenn, like you said, you've been on parole for 10 years, and I don't understand what happened. But in looking at the case narrative, it's like when your officer, Mr. Heath Swallow, got changed, you just started having a really hard time adjusting to parole. When the new lady came, you just started having a really hard time. But unfortunately today, as to your Louisiana parole for your forcible rape charge, my vote is that your parole be violated, and that while you are in DOC custody, you get a mental health evaluation. And I want you to really pay attention when the mental health evaluator start talking with you. Be honest, be open, share your letter with her or him, and let's figure out how you can be successful going forward. It is based on your guilty plea and the findings in the preliminary hearing that probable cause exists to believe that you violate your parole. While you're on parole, you can't leave the state when you get ready. I don't care what's going on, you can't do it. You should not have done it, especially as a sex offender. But that is my vote, Chairman. That is my vote and my recommendation.
This time, Mr. Jones.
Yes, my vote is the same, Ms. Pearl, for the same reasons. Thank you.
Mr. Jones, are you joining that recommendation about a mental health evaluation?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
At this time, I vote to revoke, fail to comply with the conditions set by probation, parole, and a mental health evaluation. At this time, that concludes our hearings. Thank you very much.
Oh my God. Does anyone else need like 8 motions right now? This is the circus of Jim Wise, Miss Wise, by the way, they are not related, and Victor Jones, my 3 least favorite board members. And I don't want to do another hearing with them. But then you throw in the mix a delusional sex offender, and you just have the perfect circus for a migraine. That was just really painful, and I am sorry. Please forgive me for putting you through that. Now, in my opinion, the guy has got to be like, I'm not a medical whatever, blah, 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 but seems to check the boxes for paranoid schizophrenic, maybe. People who think that people are out to get him, and he actually, it's, wow, my parole officer didn't pick up the phone. I don't know who to trust. It's like, okay. He's but the guy has been nuts for a long time. It's not just this. Let me show you how many times he has sued the state. It's like obnoxious. This is 12. If you look at the top in red, those are the dates: 12/17/09, That's 2/25/2010. This one is 6/18/2013. These are all him like suing the state for some reason or another. 10/31/12. Richard sent this to me. Here's an appeal on the filing. 1/16/14. Here's another. Here's a civil action suit. I mean, it just keeps going on and on and on. You know, you don't want this guy in your prison who's going to be a headache. Let's see this one, November 16, 2020, August 16, 2021, July 22, 2021. It just keeps going, right? And like, you know, the guy seems to have unlimited, well, he has unlimited time and he uses it, it seems, to file. And it's all different. Every one of these are like different. You know, he was refused this in prison. He was not given that. It's like just, it's kind of over and over and over again. And here's, you know, some information on his crime. In 1998, he pled guilty to aggravated sexual assault, was sentenced to 30 years. Pursuant to the agreement, the Department of Corrections, he would waive his incentive wages while in custody. But then there was something like he was arrested again. You know, this guy's a real doll. And you know, he like files some type of appeal. The reasons the judgment district court is affirmed. I really don't. My head is hurting so much. I just don't even think I can talk about this case anymore. But people like this do exist, and whether you want to, I don't know what the answer is. What is the answer? He's obviously dangerous. He obviously can't, you know, my opinion, be out. You know, well, I mean, so well, I don't know how much time he's back in, but you know, maybe he's meant to be in a psych ward. Maybe he just needs medication. You know, get evaluated and be put on medication, and he would realize that people are not out to get him. You know, you have to think if people were actually out to get him, they probably would have gotten him. That's just my opinion. But who knows, right? So he goes, I do like what Jim Wise said. He's like, you got in a car and you can go to another state, but you can't drive to your parole officer. And he's like, well, I didn't drive there. I just ended up there. It's like, okay, yeah, you just ended up in another state. Anyways, if you didn't see it, you probably wouldn't believe it. And with that, I'll let you go.